Neither team deserved to win that game. Unfortunately, the rules of baseball say one team has to win, and the Dodgers deserved a little bit less, thanks to Dustin May's first bad game of the season and the bullpen blowing it. Let's dig into it live on Locked On Dodgers.
You are Locked On Dodgers, your daily Los Angeles Dodgers podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, Dodger fans, this is Locked On Dodgers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thanks to our everydayers for making Locked On Dodgers your first listen every weekday morning. And thanks to those of you who are with us live here on Tuesday evening. Remember, this show is free and available on all podcast platforms and on YouTube simply by searching for Locked On Dodgers. So please subscribe wherever you're watching or listening right now. If this is your first time with us, my name is Jeff Snider. My normal co-host, Vince Samperio. He's not here. Instead, I have my abnormal co-host, Clint Pasillas. Clint and Vince and I are all lifelong Dodger fans, just like most of you. We've also all spent time covering the Dodgers in the press box and the locker room. So we bring you the smart fans perspective on our boys in blue every weekday morning. And Clint, this game, like I said, neither team deserved to win this game. Dustin May pitched horribly, powered through to get through 5 innings, surprisingly. But he was bad. Shota Imanaga was almost as bad. Then the Cubs bullpen was really bad. And then the Dodgers bullpen was really bad. And in the end, you add up all the Dodgers bad and all the Cubs bad. And unfortunately, the Dodgers bad had one more run in it than the Cubs did, which means the Cubs win by 1 run in extra innings. And we're going to talk about Dustin May. We're going to talk about the bullpen. We're going to end on a happy note because I have been described accurately as annoyingly optimistic. The Dodgers did score 10 runs for the first time this year. And so we will dig into that in the last segment. But before that, we got 2 segments of ugly because this game was ugly, and not just because it was played at the worst stadium in baseball.
I'm going to get that out of you. I really want to have you be on here and complain about Wrigley because I agree. You had posted either on Twitter or in the All Dodgers Discord about it really, as the kids say, it's giving Coors Field vibes over there at Wrigley. But on this game, just an overall stinker. Dodgers finally, like you said, scored 10 runs, and they are winless. When they score 10 runs, you would assume that would be enough for this team. But
stop scoring 10 runs. Don't you want to win? Hashtag math.
Literally every time they score 10 runs, they lose. So it is a problem for this ball club. But D-May, it was one of the things I kind of had a premonition yesterday in my evening live stream. I was like, I think Dustin is kind of not so much due for one, but I could see there being a stinker put up just because, hey, we knew this team was running a bullpen game out on Wednesday in Chicago, and you would probably want 5, 6, 7 innings out of your starter. Well, they got 5 out of him, but it wasn't a good 5 when you're going out there giving up 7 runs. And he just didn't look right. He didn't look comfortable, especially early. Didn't have great command. The mechanics seemed definitely at least a hair off, and he wasn't comfortable. That's plainly what it is. He was not comfortable.
Yeah, even in his good starts this year, he still has not been able to consistently land the sweeper arm side, outside to a lefty. And we saw that again today. And, that it's going to catch up to you eventually. When you can't land that, you're going to have to, especially when you've got guys like Kyle Tucker and Ian Happ and, some of these really good left-handed hitters, Michael Busch, PCA, who's apparently a good hitter against the Dodgers.
Yeah.
These lefties, you got to be able to land that backdoor sweeper every once in a while. And he hasn't. And then, the fastball at times this year, he's commanded it well. Today, he didn't. I mean, he threw a lot of bad pitches in the strike zone. Just
way too many. Yeah. He
Not
got a lot
pitches.
of plate early. And that's a problem when you're facing one of the better hitting teams in baseball. I have stats somewhere around. Yeah. Cubs they third in baseball when you're looking at batting average, team batting average 265. They bat the ball, they take their walks, they slug. They're a good ball club.
Yeah. And it's, You can't succeed against a team like that when you're missing in the strike zone like that. He only walked 3 guys in 5 innings. Not terrible, especially when you factor in like he faced 27 batters. Facing 27 batters in 5 innings is a big problem. But walking 1 out of every 9 hitters, that's not terrible. It's a decent walk rate. But command doesn't just show up in the walk column. It shows up in the hard hit balls column. And then he also had a lot of bad luck where he's, getting soft contact that's dropping. And it was one of those days where everything piles on. And you could definitely picture, it's easy to picture a day like this where he doesn't get a loss, because he didn't get the loss because the offense bailed him out. And then the bullpen couldn't pick things up. But I mean, there will be days when Dustin May pitches this poorly and gets a win. He got through 5 innings, and if a couple of those soft hit balls don't drop in, maybe he allows 1 or 2 fewer runs, or the offense just shows up a little earlier. But he wouldn't have deserved to win. Nobody deserved this win. Dustin May didn't deserve to win. Shota Imanaga didn't deserve to win. Who got the win? Porter Hodge won.
That's not a real name. That's not a real name.
Yeah, he's got to be from Utah, right?
He's giving Utah there.
He really is. I got to look this up because Porter Hodge is definitely a Utah name. And let's see. Oh, my internet is choosing right now. It's like spinning it to build suspense.
There it is.
The spinning wheel in my browser is the version of drumroll from Salt Lake City, Utah. Drafted by the Cubs out of Cottonwood High School in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, I'm proud of you.
Porter Hodge. Proud of you. Definitely a Utah name.
He has a wealth of useless guessing and knowledge, man. I tell you what.
But yeah, I guess you could say he deserved the win. 1 scoreless inning with a strikeout. I think he's the one who struck out Max Muncy in the at bat that has people clamoring for Max Muncy to be launched into the moon, run around third, 1 out, and he strikes out on a bad pitch. It happens.
This is just one of those games, like you put it behind you, you move on, you don't really dwell on it. Even for us as a fan, I don't care about this game. Was it frustrating? Yeah. Was there anything that stood out different than anything else? Like, I'm not selling my stock on Dustin May quite yet. I think there's a number of things that happen in a season that will, he wasn't going to go, so start to finish. Words are hard right now. I'm tired, boys. It wasn't going to start to finish and put together a 1 ERA and all this. That's not who he is. He's not this guy either. He put together a stinker. The offense tried its best, but just barely didn't have enough runs. Alex Vesia serving up the homer to Kyle Tucker. It's how this game goes sometimes. I'm pretty sure they're not like, oh my God, how did we lose this game? I do think Dave manages this game a little bit different. If they weren't planning the bullpen game tomorrow, credit to Dustin May for finding something for a little bit there. He had, pitch count was wild for those first couple of innings, got back on track in the 3rd and the 4th, and then maybe out there just 1 inning too long facing somebody that wanted to do some damage, and they did with that 2-run homer. But yeah, I'm not going to lose any sleep over this game.
Yeah, if they didn't have a bullpen game tomorrow, Dustin May would not have been. They made him wear it. He threw 95 pitches. He wouldn't have pitched the 5th inning if they had a rested bullpen. That if things were different. Things aren't different. That's one of the things about baseball. It's a long season, and you go through stretches where you play a lot of games in a row or whatever, and you just have these things where sometimes you do have to wear it. And yeah, it would have been great if Dustin May had been able to wear it a little bit better in that 5th inning. Unfortunately, he didn't. This is one, like you said, I don't allow myself to get angry or upset about regular season games. I'm just, at my age, I've just learned I'll let myself start getting stressed in October. I don't allow it in April. If I did, I would have been pretty frustrated about this game because they did battle back, and the offense did pick up Dustin May. And so for them not to be able to hold that, and like I said, in the next segment, we're going to dig into the bullpen a little bit, but it's definitely one that would have worn on me a lot if I allowed that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's one of the simplest things you could say because it's the most obvious things you could say, but it was every bit of a frustrating loss. You feel a lot better if you win it. They did enough to win that game. Nobody deserved to win it. They did enough. It just, the cards didn't fall that way.
Yep. Like I said, the bullpen let them down, specifically Alex Vesia and Tanner Scott and Wrigley Field. I'll probably mention Wrigley Field another time or two in the next segment. We're definitely going to talk about Alex Vesia and Tanner Scott, and both of them they blew it, and we'll dig into that. So thank you for making Locked On Dodgers your first listen, and please keep it Locked On Dodgers. This episode is brought to you by Supply House. Get the supplies you need from the site made for the skilled trades, Supply House. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400-plus top brands, you'll find exactly what you need, delivered fast from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person. And for trade pros looking for an extra edge, their free TradeMaster program offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantage. Now it's your turn. Join the TradeMaster program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. We are back. Thank you for making Locked On Dodgers your first listen every weekday morning or your last listen here on Tuesday night, if that's the case. We appreciate all of you. Be sure to go beyond the podcast and become a Locked On Dodgers insider by going to joinsubtext.com/LockedOnDodgers. Be sure for your second listen, check out Locked On MLB, hosted by our buddy Paul Francis Sullivan, a.k.a. Sully. And since we got Clint here, let's go ahead and mention his stuff. Be sure to check out All Dodgers with Clint Pasillas and Dodger Territory with Clint and Alana Rizzo. You can find those on the YouTubes and I assume on all the podcast apps too, right?
Absolutely.
Traditional podcasting, baby.
The old school way.
Yeah. Place where you could find Dodgers left-handed relievers was on the mound today. And
Segue.
And Anthony Bonda, I guess, got through it. Didn't allow any runs, allowed 2 hits. The other 2 lefty relievers both struggled. Alex Vesia, it was a 2-run homer to what's his name?
For Kyle Tucker, yeah.
Kyle Tucker, who is one of the best hitters in baseball. It happens, but it doesn't have to happen. You know, like it's frustrating when it happens. And at the time it was 10-7. That made it 10-9. And you're like, okay, well, as long as the Dodgers can hold on, we'll forgive that. And then Tanner Scott came in to pitch the 9th inning and with 2 outs gave up a home run to Miguel Amaya. A home run that I will mention is a home run in exactly one stadium. That stadium is Wrigley Field, because Wrigley Field, you don't even have to hit the ball over the wall to get a home run. You just hit it into a net. And Tommy Edmonds' glove was under the ball. You know, worst case, that's a double in a real stadium. I'm sorry, I shouldn't rip on Wrigley Field. To my credit, Clint can vouch for me. I talked about how much I hated Wrigley Field before this game started. This is not
true.
Sour grapes.
This is 100% accurate. By the way, you mentioned, the Dodger lefty bullpen arm barn boys, if you will, but nobody calls them that, struggling and all that. Not Bonda. Well, he was saved by the hose, the left hand, the left field hose of Andy Pajes, who did throw a runner out at home, ending I think it was the 6th inning. It was 6th inning. So overall, they did not have a good outing. Dodgers bullpen ERA, not great, pretty middle of the pack. And you kind of mentioned it. Our buddy Richard Flores said it earlier in the chat as well. Dodgers bullpen is worn out, and this is a team. This is a club, it's a franchise here that leads baseball in reliever innings pitched. They have now passed the century mark, 100 2/3 innings pitched this year. That is a lot. And we've seen it in the past with this team where they rely on the bullpen and, it shoves. They can shove. These dudes can rally around each other, pull each other up by their bootstraps and get the job done. But eventually you get tired. You get tired with that kind of sprint. And maybe we saw a little bit of that today, even coming off of the off day leading into this game. What are your thoughts?
It could be overuse, and I was talking a little bit about this yesterday. The fact that, yes, like if you look at the number of games the Dodgers have played and the number of games that these guys have pitched in, yeah, it looks like a high percentage. But you look at the number of days. I mean, the Dodgers have had a lot of off days so far this season. And so, really, they've only had a handful of guys even going back-to-back days. And it's, some of it is overuse. Like Tanner Scott specifically, I was looking, he's actually just usually bad at the beginning of the season. In 2023, his first season as an elite reliever, in 2023, after the game on April 25th, his ERA was 6.30. 2024 last year, by the way, his ERA that season finished at 2.31. Last year, when his ERA finished at 1.75, his ERA after April 16th was 415, 470 after April 14th. That was its high point. His FIP though was like around 7. He's been bad in April, and that FIP was down to 292 last year. Like he is often bad in April. Now his track record before that, he wasn't a great pitcher before that. But if you look at his career splits,
absolutely,
his ERA in April is quite a bit higher. His OPS allowed is quite a bit higher in April. And that doesn't mean that he's going to magically get better, but it does seem to be a pattern. And the way that he's gotten out of it each of the last 2 years is by pitching pitching really, really well and getting over it. And, unfortunately, there's no other real way for the Dodgers to do this other than, hey, Tanner Scott, keep pitching.
I will say, I think we are noticing the absence of Blake Treinen because the team was a lot better. The bullpen was a lot better over the first couple of weeks of the season. And you could argue, they weren't as gassed then, but also Blake Treinen was picking up some very big innings for this team, key outs, closing some games, earning some saves along the way when Tanner Scott picked up different innings or maybe was down that day. But now, of course, with the forearm issue, we might not see Treinen for a while, and that's where you're going to have dudes like Noah Davis in there, Luis Garcia continuing to exist for some reason, and those aren't the arms that we should expect. And it's nice to have Evan Phillips back. You're still slowly getting him back in. He wasn't even supposed to be a part of the bullpen yet. Well, he probably would have for this one, but he was supposed to go out for one more rehab assignment. And they kind of had to rush him back because of the Treinen thing. But that's you mentioned, you talked last night about black holes in the lineup and all that. It's a black hole not having Blake Treinen at the mercy of Dave Robertson being able to call him up. I said that weird and wrong, but you get my point.
Yeah, it's definitely, it hurts them when you lose a good reliever. And, I don't know if Blake Treinen would have helped today. You never can tell what would have been different because the fact is Alex Vesia gave up the home run against a left-handed hitter. Yeah. It's not like Blake Treinen would have been in the game to face Cal Tucker there probably. That was Alex Vesia's out to get. And, the home run that Tanner Scott gave up was after he got the lefties out. It was he just left one out there to a right-handed hitter who got just enough of it, barely enough of it. You could make a case that he didn't get enough of it, but I won't make that case.
I'm seeing people, by the way, a couple people defending Luis Garcia. Just why? Yeah, he didn't give up a run. He doesn't belong in this bullpen. That's just a simple fact. He's not Michael Kopech. He's not Brusdar Graterol. He's not Kyle Hurt. He's very old from baseball terms. What do they call those journeyman relievers that I don't know why. I know exactly why. They had injuries to open the season, but if he was willing or good enough to help this team, he would have picked up a 3-inning save for the boys in blue tonight. But he didn't look good enough in the 7th, and they had to go turn to Vesia in the 8th. But anyways, I will not stand for anybody defending Luis Garcia.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's a nice guy, and his mom loves him. And I look forward to the day when all the high leverage guys are available and Luis Garcia isn't on the team anymore. Yeah. But right now, he's maybe not even the first one on the chopping block because Noah Davis threw his first pitch as a Dodger. So that's good, I guess. And also on the bright side, Noah Davis is definitely available tomorrow. Definitely didn't get overworked in this game. He's now thrown one pitch as a Dodger. We'll still be on the Dodgers tomorrow because they're going to need him in a bullpen game probably, especially after using, 7 relievers in this game.
Even with all the arms they use, they're still in a pretty decent spot because, again, Noah Davis, one pitch. Jack Dreyer didn't throw. Evan Phillips didn't throw. Ben Kasparius didn't throw. I wouldn't be surprised if they found a way to make a move. Matt Sauer is somebody who's available. Wrigley, if you're looking at like a 1 or 2 inning filler guy, but not to start the game, could pick up some of those innings. I wouldn't be shocked, but also, not shocked either way if they do or don't make a move because there is that day off on Thursday.
Yeah, I may not have used my sarcastic voice well enough. Seth in the chat is asking how Noah Davis being available is a bright side. I'm usually pretty good at the sarcastic voice, but maybe it wasn't good enough there.
All right, bullpen hero.
Do I need to do this?
Noah Davis, yeah.
Wink, wink. Alex Vesia is the only Dodgers reliever who threw more than 20 pitches today, and so probably everybody except Vesia is available tomorrow, probably, and which is good. But yeah,
Tim G asking who's the bulk guy tomorrow. It's going to have to be Benny Caps. Kasparius is the dude who's he's built up to about 45 pitches we've seen so far this season. He's let it eat up to that point a few times, and he's going to need to cover ideally 3 innings to really help this ball club survive.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see because he threw 23 pitches on the 20th on Sunday, and so we're 2 days rest, Monday and Tuesday of rest. He could definitely go a couple innings for sure. There was little parts of me thinking that Tony Gonsolin's scheduled to start here in Utah tomorrow for Oklahoma City. What? Maybe he makes his last rehab start in Chicago instead. Just go out there. Hey, go throw 60 pitches for the Dodgers. Would be a rough thing. Hey, I know you thought you were going to face the Salt Lake Bees. Instead, you're facing the Chicago Cubs, the highest scoring team in baseball, at the worst stadium in baseball.
It's definitely not a soft landing, but that is something I saw stirring around online. My buddy Matt Moreno bringing that up over at Dodger Blue, saying, hey, could make some sense to see him, kind of just let's get you a late flight or something like that. But it would be pretty dang unfair to Tony, who's missed the last year and a few months now with that Tommy John.
Yeah, Richie in the chat is clamoring for Brett Honeywell. I'm pretty sure the Dodgers don't need more bad pitchers. I think that they're covered on bad pitchers. I guess if you want to punt this game, just, there's ways to do that without bringing in Brett Honeywell.
If you love something, let it go. Let that lasting image be.
Especially if you love it for no good reason.
He threw garbage innings in the NLCS, and the boys like that, so now we like him. And he also said F words on TV after they won. So we love him. He's our best friend. Absolutely.
Go Brent. I'm glad he got his World Series ring. His last outing as a Dodger will be trying to wake the Yankees bats up in Game 4 of the World Series. Doing his very best to wake up the Yankees.
Forget about that. That one, I forget about that. I forget about tonight's game.
Yep. There was a little bit of good news. Like we said, the Dodgers scored 10 runs in this game. In 10 innings, they scored it in the first 8 innings or 7 innings, whatever. It's maybe an offensive breakout. It may be because they were playing in a joke of a stadium. We don't really know. But we're going to dig into all of that. So thank you again for making Locked On Dodgers your first listen, and please continue to keep it Locked On Dodgers. This episode is brought to you by Wonderful Pistachios. Are you looking for a snack that's both delicious and nutritious? Crack into a good source of protein with Wonderful Pistachios. My son's got another baseball tournament this weekend. I am already looking forward to watching him play while munching on some delicious no-shell honey roasted pistachios from Wonderful Pistachios. Wonderful Pistachios is one of the highest protein nuts. Each 1 ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better for you unsaturated fats to help keep you feeling fuller longer. Man, these are hard words to say. Maybe you prefer your pistachios in their shells. They've got you covered there too. For me, I don't like to touch food with my hands, so I like the no shells, so I can just pour them straight into my mouth from the bag. Wonderful Pistachios is a complete protein, providing all 9 essential amino acids. These little green wonders pack a protein punch. So whether you're running between meetings or dropping off the kids, Wonderful Pistachios is the snack that works as hard as you do. So get snacking and get cracking with the snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. We are back. Thank you again for making Locked On Dodgers your first listen or your last listen. We appreciate all of you who are with us live. Good chat going on. It's a therapy session in the chat tonight, and that's okay. Like I said, I don't allow myself to get mad about regular season games, especially in April, but I absolutely do not begrudge you as Dodger fans being upset about this. I'm probably not going to engage with them because you know what? I'm glad we have this chat. So you guys can have your therapy session while we sit here and try to look on the bright side or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine to be upset. Again, it was a very frustrating game. Alana and I were sitting waiting for the game to end, hopefully mercifully, with the Dodgers surviving and winning the game. And the homer goes out, and I just hear her say some lovely words that our friend Richie Flores would love. Starts with F and ends with a K. She was not happy to have to wait longer for a post game, but again, these games happen in a long season, and like we're about to talk about, the offense woke up at least a hair tonight, plating 10 runs, and they did it without the top of the lineup, as they've done a lot of late. No Mookie, no Shohei doing anything, but the rest of the lineup kind of showed up.
Yeah, the Dodgers had nine hits, 10 runs. All 9 hits came from 5 guys. You had Teo with 2, Freeman with 1, Edman with 2, Smith with 2, and Pages with 2, including home runs from Edman, Smith, and Pages. Ohtani 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts. Mookie, another 0 for. His batting average is down to 231. OPS down to 758. Kike Hernandez, believe it or not, didn't get a hit. He's down to 130 with a 556 OPS. Max Muncy, rough day, 0 for 4. He did have a walk, but 2 strikeouts, including that big one with the go-ahead run on third base. Frustrating, or was that? Was that in the 10th inning, or was that in the? Yeah, it was the 10th inning, right? Yeah.
I barely know what happened in the 10th inning, because I had to scramble to kind of rewrite the post game a little bit while we were sitting there, which is always fun, and why I hate doing post games. Like,
picture Utah's finest Porter Hodge throwing 3 sliders at Max Muncy's back foot and him swinging at all of them. And now you know what happened in the 10th inning.
My guy, he's back. He's all the way back.
Plus, old friend Justin Turner robbing Will Smith of a go-ahead double instead, turning it into a productive out. But the offense did get some stuff done.
Yeah, and focusing on the positives, man. Tommy Edman, go ahead.
Andy Pages is one that I was going to bring up. Like, he had a home run. He also had a nice base hit. He hit the ball well. He shows signs every once in a while. Regardless of what some people say, Andy Pages is on this team because of his potential as a hitter.
He had a slow start. He had a slow start to the season. He talked about, some of his own pressure in trying to produce and having to actually fight for a roster spot, despite being somebody that was on this World Series roster just a few months ago. But yeah, I mean, 2 for 3, long, no doubt homer. He had the double in there, but it was his 3rd homer in his last 11 games. And shockingly, AP, as I call him, AP 44, hitting 250 over his last 11 games. That ain't terrible. It's not good, but for the bottom of the Dodgers lineup, that's Hall of Fame stuff.
Yeah, Seth says, I'm ready for that potential to arrive already. And that's the case with a lot of these guys, But Pages, he needs to start hitting. His job is on the line. He needs to really break out, because whether it's Hae-Sung Kim or Alex Freeland, there's 2 guys banging on the door in AAA, and with Tommy Edman's positional versatility, either one of those guys could take Andy Pages' job in lineup, or at least bump Andy Pages over to a platoon in left field with Michael Conforto, who is also lousy and also made the 3rd out of the 10th inning as a pinch hitter. It's, even in a game like this where the Dodgers scored 10 runs, it's 5 players, and you still got, I have no doubt Shohei Ohtani is going to do better. I'm not worried about Ohtani. Yeah, it's frustrating to see him have a rough game like this. He's been back from having a baby for 2 games now, and
he didn't do it. It wasn't his. He participated months ago.
#science, baby. That's all we're going to say about that. But you know what? Who knows what's going on? But I'm not worried about Shohei Ohtani. I'm not even worried about Mookie Betts. I think Mookie Betts is going to be fine. He's always been streaky. I know people want to blame it on him playing shortstop. I'm not. I don't believe that that's the case. I think he's just a streaky hitter, and he's going to be fine at some point. Freddie Freeman is, going to be fine. He was 1 for 5 in this game with 2 strikeouts.
Did have a big hit, big double there after the error. Of course, Teoscar hits into what was almost could have been a triple play. Thank you for another error for was Gage Lockwell or something like that. Their third baseman. Workman. Workman. They all look the same. Somebody who's going to be at AAA sooner rather than later. Hey, you know what? I'm surprised we haven't seen a little bit of like JT over at third base for the Cubs, just because they don't have, I wouldn't say better options, but they don't have a third base option there at all. Maybe.
It's kind of funny because when people tell me Dodgers should have kept Michael Busch, and I'm like, even the Cubs, who have had a revolving door at third base, have played Michael Busch there for a grand total of 1 inning since they got him because Michael Busch is not a third baseman. Yes, it would be awesome to have Michael Busch's bat in our lineup right now. If he played any of the positions that the Dodgers need, he would be in the Dodgers lineup instead of, the Dodgers traded him for 2 really good prospects. That's it is what it is. It's, I
like
said,
the first baseman we have.
Yeah. I do believe Freddie Freeman is a better hitter than Michael Busch.
Breaking.
Maybe it's a hot take right now. Yep, even right now.
Yeah.
Freddie Freeman has a higher OPS than Michael Busch. So, take that for what it's worth. Like I said, I'm annoyingly optimistic, and even I'm having a hard time being super optimistic about this game, partly because I don't know. Like my philosophy on Coors Field is always don't get too happy or too sad about anything that ever happens at Coors Field because it's not real baseball. And unfortunately, Wrigley Field is very close to that because you never know what the weather's going to be like. You've got this stupid brick wall in the outfield. You got this net, so you don't even have to hit the ball over the wall to get a home run. It's just and it's I know it's a landmark. It's not even a fun place to watch a game. Like I know as a baseballer, I'm supposed to like worship Wrigley Field. It doesn't make my top 20. I've been to 33 major league stadiums. It's definitely not my top 20. It might not be in my top 30. It is a garbage stadium to watch a game. It's a garbage stadium to play a game. When you're watching a game as a fan, it's fun if you don't care who wins because there's going to be chaos. You know what? Maybe you'll hit a pop-up and it'll go over the wall. Maybe you'll hit one 118 miles an hour and the center fielder have to come in to catch it because the wind was blowing in that moment. Who cares? Like, it's fun for that chaos if you don't care who wins. It's like the runner on second in extra innings rule. It adds a lot of excitement if you don't care who wins. If you care who wins, it's like, this isn't real baseball anymore. Like Noah Davis threw one pitch, gave up a single, and the game's over. It's not real baseball because you care who wins. Like, that's Wrigley Field. Wrigley Field is the Manfred base runner of baseball stadiums. And at this point, I'm just leaning into the hate views, Fans, let's hear it in the comments. I promise to not reply to you, but keep watching and tell your friends, make sure they watch too, because hate views count too.
Somebody clip this. Make sure you tag that Bree Delio girl on the Instagram.
Oh my gosh.
Everybody just let it eat. But I'm happy. I'm very happy.
She's like the only reason I want the Cubs to fail is so that she'll be sad.
Oh God, she found a niche and just really leaned into it. The overreaction niche, of which there are a lot of people who lean into that for sure. But I'm happy. We finally, it took the whole show to get Emperor Palpatine said, "Let the hate flow through you," or whatever it was.
Don Kim wants to know Oakland Coliseum or Wrigley. Oakland Coliseum is the 33rd best stadium I've been to. I wish I had been to it back before they ruined it with Mount Davis out in center field. Used to be a nice stadium. Now you walk in, well, back when they played baseball there, you walk in, there's barbed wire around you. You feel like you're walking into prison. Tampa Bay obviously was a terrible stadium. Better than Oakland, better than I expected it to be, but only because they play baseball there. But yeah, I think those two are the only two that I know for sure that I would put below Wrigley. Yeah.
What about the new ballparks that they're playing in right now? The minor league stadiums.
I haven't been to those ones yet.
Do you count those as big league stadiums?
I haven't decided yet if I'm going to try to go to those and count those as big league stadiums.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Definitely would not. Guys, but the important thing is as we hit the wrap it up button, we will all live, we will all survive, we will endure. We probably will not remember this ball game a month from now, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, and hopefully when Brent Honeywell is crowned the Dodgers World Series MVP sometime late in October.
Sorry, I already said the other day that Bobby Miller is striking out Rafael Devers to end the World Series this year. So, you know what?
Oh, that's like a good video right there. That's like either worst takes or bizarro Dodgers outcomes.
All I'm going to say is if that happens, I've said it twice now, I better get rich off that if that happens. That's all I'm saying.
Somebody else will clip that.
Yeah. All right. We got a Yankees fan in the chat saying the Dodgers are massively underperforming and there's no excuse for it. So I guess that means we're done. You got anything else, Clint?
No. Everybody go to sleep. We play again tomorrow, and then there's a day off, and then baseball is fun again because the Dodgers are back home, and they got a good one lined up. Paul Skenis, if you're nasty, going up against Yoshinobu Yamamoto at Dodger Stadium. That's going to be fun. Dave Roberts bobblehead night over the weekend. That's going to be pretty cool as well, because I'm sure people are going to be absolutely fair and not at all weird and unhinged with their Dave Roberts bobbleheads. So cool stuff there.
Hey, you had me at no longer at Wrigley Field. So that'll do it for us for today. Thank you all for making us your first listen or your last listen. Be sure to subscribe wherever you're watching or listening. Make it easy to become an everydayer. Also, be sure to check out Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. You can also go beyond the podcast to become a Locked On Dodgers insider by going to joinsubtext.com/LockedOnDodgers. You text direct with us, get access to our Discord server, all sorts of good stuff there. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Locked On Dodgers. Vince is on Twitter at VinceSense91. Clint is on Twitter at RealFRG. I'm on Twitter at Snydog. All of our DMs are open there. You can also email us, lockedondodgers@gmail.com, or send us a voicemail or a text message to 323-863-LOCK5625. We are here every weekday morning. We hope you'll be here with us when you get in your car or sit on your couch. Tell your smart device to play podcast Locked On Dodgers. And remember, you don't have to agree. You just have to listen. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Bye.